Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Holman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we sit down with Sandy Johnson from the Kansas Department of Agriculture to talk about emergency management preparedness. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean talks to us about the United Soybean Board and the Soybean Checkoff. And Farm Bureau informs us on the upcoming Veterinary Feed Directive changes. And in news you need to know, we got our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association. We'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Weed Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. Donald Trump has promised that immigration reform will be one of his top priorities as president, but there are concerns about how his policies will impact immigrant workers in agriculture. Christy Boswell, a director of congressional relations with American Farm Bureau, says they're working to ensure farmers have access to a legal and stable workforce. She also says Farm Bureau supports border security, but we need to see a new flexible guest worker program that works not only for seasonal workers, but year-round workers. USDA officials are forecasting a $500 million increase in dairy exports next year. The USDA's Agricultural Trade Report is projecting overall ag exports to grow by $1 billion to $134 billion. The dairy exports account for $500 million of that growth. USDA believes China and Mexico markets will both make significant purchases, accounting for $300 million of the projected jump in the dairy exports. Boulder County, Colorado commissioners have voted to ban raising genetically modified corn and sugar beets on county-owned farmland. The commissioners voted 2-1 to phase out raising GM crops earlier this week. Farmers growing GMO corn on the property leased from the county can plant the crop next year, but will have to phase it out by 2019. GMO sugar beets can be planted for the next 5 years, but will have to be phased out by the end of 2021. And in local news, much needed moisture makes the top of many Kansas wheat farmers' 2016 Christmas wish list. According to USDA U.S. Drought Monitor, much of western Kansas is currently in moderate to severe drought, just a few weeks after the state was declared drought-free for the first time in 6 years. The Kansas Crop Progress and Condition Report from USDA's NASS lists topsoil moisture rated at 31% short, subsoil moisture is rated at 27% short, but winter wheat condition was 52% good to excellent and 96% emerged. The Kansas Department of Agriculture will lead an emergency preparedness exercise called Afterburn, December 19th through the 22nd at KDA in Manhattan, to practice the state's response to a foreign animal disease event. The 4-day exercise will enable KDA and its partners in other state agencies, federal and local governments, industry, university, and 6 other states to practice the state's foreign animal disease response plan. The exercise has been funded with a grant provided by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The Kansas State University crop team has completed the fall season by taking the top 3 individual placings to win the Chicago Collegiate Crop Contest by 104 points over Iowa State University. Earlier in the week, Iowa State edged the K-State team by 6 points in the Kansas City American Royal Contest, resulting in a shared national championship for 2016. This was the 8th straight win for K-State in the Chicago contest, matching the record set by the University of Minnesota from 1969 to 1976. K-State teams have now won or shared the Collegiate Crop Contest Championship in 20 of the past 23 years. Up next in our Ag Future, we sit down with Sandy Johnson from the Kansas Department of Agriculture to talk about emergency management preparedness. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business, providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're at the Kansas Department of Agriculture office here in Manhattan. We're joined by Sandy Johnson. And Sandy, coming up here in the next week or so, we've got an emergency practice coming up that is really important to agriculture here in the state of Kansas.
Yes, it is. Every December, we do a large exercise with our staff here at the department. This year it's kind of unique. We are doing 4 days of exercise participation, and we have a lot of other folks joining us, but we try and do it every year this time of year because it's a little quieter. So we're not missing a lot of other things going on, and then it's a good opportunity for other folks at the local level, federal level, private practitioners. A lot of folks join us for this exercise that we like to try and do every year the week before Christmas.
And this year we're going to practice with, like we've got an outbreak of foot and mouth disease. Is that correct?
That's correct. This year the scenario is foot and mouth disease. We do foot and mouth disease as a scenario quite often, mostly because it's probably the worst thing that could happen. And so our thought is if we can respond to that, another disease or any kind of plant outbreak might be a little easier. And so it really taxes our resources. Yeah, and it really, when you use a scenario that's a challenge, it tests our planning and our staff, our the way we communicate with industry and with other stakeholders. So it's a great scenario for us to use, and we're getting pretty good at it, I think.
Now, when we do, because this potentially could spread all across the U.S. I mean, we're talking about, because I see your list, one of my biggest concerns is we've got cattle moving down the road, KDOT being very involved, other states potentially being involved, of course K-State being involved and stuff like that. So walk us through the scenario. Do we pick a producer here in the state of Kansas and go, okay, here's where the outbreak started and move outward?
Yeah, we used to start with the outbreak starting in the state of Kansas probably about a decade ago, and we've sort of evolved to looking at if it starts someplace else. So in this scenario, it will start in another country, actually, in North America, and then the scenario will evolve to where it does get to Kansas. So we like to look at, because if it did happen in Canada or the state of Washington, obviously we wouldn't just go, oh, hope it doesn't come here. Right. We're going to be doing a lot of activities. And so we started to look at what are those things we're doing prior to investigating it in a farm or ranch in Kansas. And so that's how we'll start. And then it evolves to where we actually do some disease investigations here. And this year we actually have some feedlots and dairies that are participating with us, which is new. We've usually had to sort of simulate that. Right. So actually having producers play along with us will be extremely helpful for us to evaluate our plans and procedures and how well that works for industry as well.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish up with Sandy Johnson at the Kansas Department of Agriculture. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're Sandy Johnson at the Kansas Department of Agriculture, and we're talking about basically emergency preparedness. And in our first segment, we talked about a potential foot and mouth disease outbreak that starts in another country, works its way into the U.S., and potentially works its way into the state of Kansas. And again, all of this is hypothetical. I said foot and mouth, Kansas. It's hypothetical. So I didn't want someone to tune in and go, oh my God. Anyways. All right, so walk us through the week, and we've got a really nice schedule. You laid everything out. Nothing happens when you think it's going to happen. Your scenarios, it happens over the weekend when you're really not prepared for it, and you're not thinking about it, and then boom, on Monday, you got to go.
Right. Most emergencies and disasters do happen on Friday night. So in our scenario this year, there will be a period of time over the weekend before we actually start through the scenario where things happened in other states and in another country. And so the idea is on Monday, our folks will get here and set up and start looking at what we would be telling the public, how we'd be communicating with veterinarians and producers on what's been going on in the country and what we've been doing here at KDA over the weekend. And so our scenario will be Monday. We will do some investigations at some of these locations that have volunteered to help us, and we're really excited about that. We'll be looking at real animal movements instead of just hypotheticals. We will go through the process of taking samples and sending them to the laboratory. We will communicate with our industry associations and their members. Tuesday, we will, the State Emergency Operations Center and some local emergency operations centers will be participating with us as they look at how we do traffic control, sample shipments, a lot of logistical things that happen on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'll just continue with that scenario. And the neat thing about this year is for the first time, we're doing a recovery tabletop exercise with our partners, with other state agencies and some USDA partners on some of the recovery options available for businesses. So looking at if you're a producer and because of the economic issues associated with a disease outbreak like this, what kind of programs or things would be available to help you? And so really looking at, and not just the producer, but that community. If your entire county's economic structure is based on the cattle industry, you know, what are those things? How can we help you get back to normal as quickly as possible? What can we as a state and obviously federal government, volunteer organizations, how do we look at all the programs that are out there and see what's possible, what's feasible, and kind of have that conversation, which we haven't really done. We've looked at natural disasters and then animal diseases separately, and this year we're putting them all together. So I'm excited about that part.
And we've only got about 15 seconds left, but once this is all done, will there be a report available on KDA's website?
Yep, we usually produce a report within 60 days of the exercise telling everyone what we learned and what we plan to do to improve our plans and procedures.
Which would be mid to late February, kind of somewhere around there. So.
Yeah, that's totally within the realm.
Yeah, perfect. Well, happy holidays. Good luck. I hope everything goes well.
Thanks.
You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute. If you would like to advertise your business on Kansas Ag Report, give us a call, 785-580-3287.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
In 1991, U.S. soybean farmers created an organization to improve their industry. The idea was, if they focused available resources, they could accomplish great things. That idea, thanks to an act of Congress, became the United Soybean Board, which is recognizing its 25th anniversary this year. The occasion has allowed the Soybean Checkoff's volunteer farmer leaders to step back, recognize their successes, and take a focused look at where the greatest possibilities lie for U.S. soybean farmers. The Checkoff's mission remains the same, improving profit opportunities for all U.S. soybean farmers. Over the past 25 years, USB has identified the core areas for immediate opportunities for U.S. soybeans within a changing market and value chain. Its constant focus on innovation to improve meal and oil, along with sustainability, will give U.S. soybean farmers an edge in the global marketplace. Driving soybean innovation beyond the bushel means looking beyond yield to new ways of capturing value. If the Checkoff is going to improve soybeans and the practices used to grow them, it has to make sure the market values U.S. soybeans and the solutions being provided to end users. USB is well positioned to be an industry catalyst while always keeping the benefit of U.S. soybean farmers top of mind.
The new Veterinary Feed Directive, or VFD, will go into full implementation on January 1st of 2017. The VFD rule requires any medically important antimicrobials used in livestock, feed, or water to be ordered by a veterinarian, and no extra label use of those VFD drugs will be allowed. Medically important means the drug is also used in human health. When a VFD is required, the veterinarian will need to fill it out either in paper or electronic form. No phone orders will be accepted. Once the VFD is complete, the feed can be mixed and fed to the animals it is intended for. The VFD will include items such as contact information, approximate number and description of the animals, the drug name and dosage, duration of use, expiration date, which cannot exceed 6 months, and instructions for reorders. The veterinarian, feed distributor, and producer will all need to keep a copy of the VFD for 2 years. So make sure to communicate with your veterinarian, your feed distributor, to come up with a plan so compliance with the VFD rule is as easy as possible for everyone involved and to avoid any kind of disruption in your operation.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business, providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Clark County rancher and farmer David Clausen of Englewood has been elected the 100th president of the Kansas Livestock Association. Members chose Finney County cattleman Lee Reeve from Garden City as president-elect. The new officers were elected December 2nd during the KLA convention in Wichita. Clausen is a fourth-generation rancher and farmer with ownership interests in various family partnerships. The Clausen Ranch Partnership with his brother Dan includes a cow-calf business and an irrigated and dryland farming operation. Clausen is a part owner in High Plains Dairy at Plains. He serves on the KLA Executive Committee and National Cattlemen's Beef Association Board of Directors. Clausen is a past chairman of both the KLA Dairy Council and KLA Stock Growers Council. He previously has chaired the KLA Tax Committee. Reeve is a principal in his family's integrated agribusiness that includes Reeve Cattle Company, Reeve Agri-Energy, and irrigated farming interests. Reeve Cattle Company is a 46,000 head feed yard started by his father, Jack, in 1962. The Reeve Agri-Energy ethanol facility was co-located next to the feed yard in 1982. Reeve represents the sixth generation of his family in the cattle business and the second generation to have served as a KLA officer. His father was KLA president in 1975. Reeve is on the KLA Board of Directors, chairs the KLA Water Committee, is a past Cattle Feeders Council chairman, and represents Kansas on the NCBA Board of Directors.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. For farmers with all three of the major old crop grains remaining in the bins or in commercial storage, for that matter, you have three different price scenarios in front of you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. That'd be soybeans, corn, and wheat. In a unique twist this year that we haven't seen with all three in quite a while, they have considerable carry in the market that you can hedge and make good use of your grain bins. All three are also suffering from historically wide basis prices. You probably know the drill at this point. What happens between now and March depends a lot on the weather in South America with regards to their soybean crop. There's no way of knowing what the weather will produce at this point. We can, however, recognize where the profitable opportunities are right now when it comes to the good, the bad, and the ugly, and prepare a marketing plan accordingly. Without speculating on where the price of soybeans go, you could at least anticipate that corn will follow along to a certain degree. If soybean prices can't hold their lofty levels comparably with corn and wheat, you may find the good, the bad, and the ugly replaced with Larry, his brother Daryl, and his other brother Daryl. If you're unfamiliar with Larry and his two brother Daryls, Google them. And hopefully that'll be the only thing from the 80s you'll have to revisit when it comes to talking about crop prices. I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansasAGreport.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.